1 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The foreign minister says dialogue and not war is the way forward for the resolution of outstanding issues between Pakistan and India. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation has called for an end to hate campaigns against Islam, its revered personalities and symbols. The chairman of all parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed serious concern over fresh crackdown on Hurriyat leaders, activists and the youth by the Indian troops in occupied Kashmir. Syria has reopened the Nissi border crossing with Jordan after 3 years. And now the news in detail. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said dialogue and not war is the way forward for the resolution of outstanding issues between Pakistan and India. In an interview with Al Jazeera television, the Foreign Minister said seeking a constructive dialogue with India is the key component of the new government's policies. About relations with the United States, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said Pakistan wanted friendly relations with it. He said the United States is looking at new friends in the region. We also do have friends who have been consistent and very, very valuable. China, he said, is one of them. The foreign minister said some other nations also recognize Pakistan's strategic location and understood its importance. He said we are not alone. Meanwhile, in an interview to BBC Urdu, the American Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for South and Central Asian Affairs, Alice G. Wells, acknowledged that Pakistan is an important country in the region and has an important part to play. She said the United States did not want the Afghan territory to be used against Pakistan. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi will address the annual debate session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York today. He will explain key policies and strategies of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government regarding regional and international issues, besides highlighting human rights violations in Indian-occupied Kashmir. The foreign minister will present Pakistan's stance on the Kashmir issue and other issues of the Muslim world. Foreign ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation at a meeting in New York on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly session adopted a strong-worded statement against denigrating Islam, its revered personalities and symbols. The statement was proposed jointly by Pakistan and Turkey. In the joint statement, serious concerns were expressed on intensification of hate campaigns which were deliberately targeting Muslims and the Islamic religious symbols. The joint statement also rejected provocative acts like the holding of caricature competition and contest to ridicule Islam and aimed at inciting violence. The Supreme Court has directed the Punjab government for taking legal action against private universities that have established illegal sub-campuses in the province. A two-member bench of the Supreme Court, headed by the Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Mian Saqib Nisar, passed the orders while hearing a suo motu case regarding private universities at the Supreme Court Lahore Registry today. The court has also sought details about the number of private universities and their affiliated colleges in the Punjab from the Advocate General. The Punjab Chief Minister Sardar Usman Bustar has said resolution of problems of the masses is among the government's topmost priorities. He stated this while talking to various delegations who called on him in Lahore today. The Chief Minister said indiscriminate action will be taken against all kinds of mafia. In occupied Kashmir, the chairman of all parties Hurriyat Conference, Sayyid Ali Gilani, has expressed serious concern of the fresh crackdown on Hurriyat leaders, activists, the youth, and nocturnal raids by the Indian police and the troops across the territory in the run-up to the so-called local bodies and panchayat elections. In a statement, he said the rhetoric of India being world's largest democracy is a mere hoax and deceit, as its high-handedness and brutalities stand exposed in every nook and corner of occupied Kashmir. In Indonesia, the death toll from the earthquake and tsunami on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi jumped to 384 today. The authorities said with many of those killed swept away by giant waves as they slept on the beach, rather as they played on the beach. Syria has reopened the Nasib border crossing with Jordan after 3 years. The Nasib crossing was captured by the rebels in 2015, cutting a major transit route for hundreds of trucks a day transporting goods between Turkey and the Gulf and Lebanon and the Gulf. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk. And you can also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.